Hello, welcome to my Persona assignment by Nick Walter. Welcome to part 1. Alrighty, and as we jump into part 1 here, we have the prompt saying that we're doing collectibles from EB Games Canada, and we got to keep up with the variables from the textbook, where geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behaviors. And then the first thing I'd like to draw your attention to is just the region, which is the Greater Toronto area, is one of the main regions that popped up. It's just going to be an area that is very dense population-wise, which is very important. And our age brackets can be anywhere from 25 to 45, which is on the younger side to the age group. And the secondary is going to be anywhere from 15 to 24, which is going to be the younger guys that are getting in there to collect, staying on top of trends. And then income's another important thing to keep in mind is that it's got to be mid to high. These are usually people that have a little bit extra disposable income. Family cycle we're looking for is going to be most likely young singles or DINKs, which is going to be double income, no kids. These lifestyles are going to be people that identify with the fandoms, whether that be Marvel, Nintendo, or anime. And the value is going to be the nostalgia factor. They're going to seek these items to remind them of their childhood, be a part of the community, always beautiful, sharing things that you love with other people. And then they're going to have routinely monthly visits. They're going to want to be there at the store. They're going to do their online for pickup, so that way they can talk about the new latest trends. Be there for any special releases. And then just a quick persona summary is that we have Nick/Nicole, roughly at age of 32. And then we have the prompted again here for the persona graphic. And what I did for that was just basically give the quick rundown of what we need. But then I also sent them a screenshot of what it should look like to give it a better idea. And then once we come into the first one here, it looks all good to me. It has all the key information that we have. It has the job, the location, the behavior is what it does, the things that they're seeking. But I didn't like that it said the nostalgia collectors. So we asked it again to just give us the proper name, and we ended up with Matthew Cole. It looks good. The only thing that I would say is the name wasn't perfectly bashed up because it said Nick/Nicole, but we got Matthew Cole. Those are one of the things I could definitely fine tune out, but I'm very happy with this. It looks good to me, and it has most of the important information that we could possibly be looking for. Welcome to part 2. I had to cover some of the postal codes here, and for the first one here, we have first class families. One of the things to draw attention to is that they do have a nice household income, but as we can see here with the family life, it is more focused on families, so we are missing on that nostalgia factor, people who have that disposable income, and these people may not have a lot of disposable income depending on the children they have. When we look at the activities, we have leisure activities such as soccer, which means that these people are trying to stay active, fit, but a big thing I'm going to draw attention to is just the radio, and that just meaning that they may not be up to all the pop culture, they may not be on top of trends because that's a little bit of an older platform. And then we jump into our downtown here, which this starts to look pretty good. We again have nice high household income, which means that we probably most likely have the disposable income. And the thing I liked here more with the family life is a little bit of a mixture. It has a little bit of the younger and the middle age, where people with most likely have children, and also could be young people or even young couples who are just starting out and have that little bit of extra money. As soon as we take a look at their activities here, we have film festivals, which I'll talk about here in a second. Shopping, home exercise equipment, kind of lets you know that maybe these people are a little bit more interested in getting fit and staying active. Again, when you look at the media, it's also daily newspaper, which is a little bit hard to stay up on pop culture trends and references. So maybe not the perfect customer for us, but they're definitely trending the right direction. And then lastly, we have Eat, Play, and Love, which I think works perfectly for exactly what we're looking for here. These guys might have a little bit less of an average household income, but it is important to take into account that a lot of these families might be singles or young couples getting together. So it does make sense that they would have a little bit less income, but that is the age range that we'd like to look at that leads to some of the trends. A big thing here again is like the film festivals. A lot of popular film characters do get made into figurines that do get sold at EB Games Canada, so that's a positive. There's shopping television. That could mean any number of things, but at least it means that they're digitally connected and up to pop culture references, trends, things like that. Media being TV. TV can mean any number of things in this day and age, whether that be streaming on Twitch, checking out YouTube videos, checking out literally just regular TV, TikTok, you name it. That fits into that digital era that we're talking about for the media. And for those reasons, that's why I picked this postal code to be my number one. Welcome to part 3. Awesome, let's jump into part 3. So here we have it again, creating the prompt here. It has the same variables from before, but now we've added in the Eat, Play, Love segment, and we've also kept in the collectibles for EB Games Canada. And once we jump into that, it keeps up with the same location idea with a dense population and a popular city. It also keeps up with a similar age range, which is 25 to 40. It's a little more refined. It doesn't have the younger group in here this time, which is good to see because that builds on that nostalgia factor we've been talking about. Income, again, is just upper to middle class because we want people to have extra money to spend. Again, as we already talked about a lot, we have pop culture, novelty seekers. A very important thing when you're building on this nostalgia factor and trends. And then again, too, is just the similar purchase triggers. It's going to be cultural things. It's going to be pre-orders, limited editions, things like that. Things that get people excited, and they're going to be very loyal to the brand. And then one of the things again when we get down into the persona graphic, again, we just prompted with a similar thing. Use this information from the profile, but we asked it to give it a picture for reference. And then I feel like this one came out really well. We got Alex here, 31, roughly the same age as the previous one. Similar job. It says the DINKs, which I really like. For the household, that means double income, no kids. Makes sense. Shows the behavior patterns which look similar. Now, the only thing I didn't love about this is it says for the high-end collectibles, EB Games Canada traditionally may not be high-end collectibles. It could have exclusive or limited edition things, but high-end collectibles in my eyes is high-end replicas of things, and those are usually ranging a little more expensive, which wouldn't be typically held at your EB Games Canada. So I'm not really sure where that information came from, but this is one of the things I wanted to draw attention to. Welcome to part 4. So I have 2 questions here. Would you submit the original AI generated version? Why or why not? And I believe that I would, just for the fact that the second one had high-end collectibles, which I don't really think aligns with the EB Games culture. And the second question here is just, has this project changed how we use AI in the future? And the answer to that is yes and no. Yes, I feel like I've been using AI similar to how I've been using it in this project, but the big thing that I've learned is I need to be more specific with prompts to generate the images and even just the answers that I'm looking for, specifically in this scenario. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video.